Federal agents were trapped, surrounded by vehicles, and calling for emergency backup while an armed protester emerges with a semi-automatic weapon. And Chicago police, they were ordered to stand down and leave them there. And this isn't a movie, guys. This just happened in Brighton Park, Chicago, and we have the dispatch audio to prove it. And Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker have been calling federal immigration agents stormtroopers, harassers, and a plague that needs to be eradicated. And now the rhetoric just turned deadly. Department of Homeland Security officers were ambushed, they were rammed by multiple vehicles, boxed in with nowhere to go, and when Chicago cops tried to help, they were explicitly told to clear out. But what they're hiding, it's going to shock you. But the audio, it does not lie. And what happens next threatens every federal officer trying to enforce our laws. So my name's Tom, I'm with the Daily Beltway. I'm also a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. And we're a growing channel, and every like, comment, and subscription helps us grow. We're going to get right to the audio. Check this out.
Okay. Any kind of particular hairstyle, just younger male Hispanic on foot wearing all black?
No hairstyle.
Okay, 10-4. And one is for the hit and run. This guy fled from the scene at 37th Place in Kedzie. It all started at I-55 in Kedzie. Then they fled southbound at Kedzie, where that offending vehicle crashed. They ran the federal agent off the road.
Okay, so they ran the federal agent off the road. They reported it into PD saying, hey, we need some help. And the Chicago Police Department, they're doing what good cops do. They're like, hey, we need to help these guys. Keep listening to how this escalates.
They fled on foot westbound 37th Place from Kedzie. It was a male Hispanic younger wearing all black clothing. 99.
Yeah, send the cars in that direction. Have them stay put 2 or 3 blocks away, all right? Have them hold.
So they dispatched police there saying stay back for 3 blocks or so. That's so they can coordinate with the federal officers, create a perimeter, and see where they need to go. That's standard policing.
Until I give you further direction, please.
Okay, 10-4. And for the units responding to 39th Place in Kedzie per 999, if you guys can just, for the units responding to 39th Place in Kedzie, if you guys can start heading there as quick as you can, and then just hold tight for instructions with 999.
999.
999.
So the chief of patrol, clear everybody up. We're not responding.
Her, the chief of patrol, clear everybody out. We're not responding. Listen.
Over there.
Radio check. And again, per the chief of patrol, we have all the units that for 999. Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
62, we're going to clear out as soon as we can, Spot. We're like locked in over here, so we're going to do the best we can to get out of here as soon as we can.
So per that audio, before we get going, let me know in the comments, who do you think gave that order? I think it was Brandon Johnson. If you agree, let me know. Or was it J.B. Pritzker? Let me know in the comments either way. So let that audio sink in for a minute. Federal officers are under attack and local police are ordered to abandon them. This happened Saturday, October 4th in the Brighton Park neighborhood when Border Patrol agents were conducting routine immigration enforcement. Around 10 vehicles suddenly surrounded their position near 39th Place in South Kedzie, deliberately ramming and boxing them in. And one woman driver rammed a DHS vehicle multiple times, then emerged with a pew-pew, and when agents described as a semi-automatic weapon. The federal officers had no choice. They opened fire in self-defense. The woman was injured and hospitalized in critical condition. I don't know the status as of today. And no federal agents were seriously injured. But this is where it gets absolutely insane. As this violent ambush was unfolding, Chicago police units were already en route to provide backup. Then came the order from the chief of patrol, probably through Brandon Johnson or J.B. Pritzker himself, to stand down, clear out, and to do not respond. And you guys heard that audio yourself in the dispatch. So who do you think gave that order? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I think this goes straight to the top. And Mayor Brandon Johnson signed an executive order on September 30th directing all Chicago law enforcement not to cooperate with ICE or DHS agents in any capacity. And that includes refusing to share information, refusing to do any logistical support. and refusing to respond to backup calls. And Johnson has called immigration raids unhinged and unhealthy, and he was on record stating that DHS, like the ICE and the police, were a plague that needed to be eradicated from society. And he also demanded ICE agents leave Chicago entirely. And Governor J.B. Pritzker has even more inflammatory. He called federal agents stormtroopers, accused them of harassing people for being white, and described their operations as unconstitutional occupation. And Pritzker rejected requests from DHS to deploy the Illinois National Guard to protect federal officers. Trump federalized them and deployed them yesterday after this incident. And Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino directly blamed Pritzker and Johnson for feeding hostility towards agents. And when you have a governor and mayor calling federal officers stormtroopers, you are not just criticizing policy, you are fomenting violence. This shooting is a part of the Operation Midway Blitz, targeting individuals with criminal records or outstanding deportation orders. And over 150 arrests have been made since late September of criminals. And here's where it all changes. Federal officials say vehicles were used as a weapon, as what they described as a premeditated assault, and local leadership deliberately left police officers and federal officers vulnerable. So should governors and mayors face federal charges for obstructing law enforcement? I think that's correct, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Because President Trump has singled out Chicago as a prime example of lawlessness under Democrat leadership, hinting at more aggressive federal measures. So if you guys got value from this update, please tap subscribe. My opinion is next. Oh my goodness. Man, this whole thing is so sad. But I want to be crystal clear about what happened here. When local politicians use inflammatory rhetoric calling federal agents stormtroopers and harassers and a plague that needs to be eradicated, they are not just making political statements. They are painting targets on the backs of law enforcement officers. Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker decided their sanctuary city ideology mattered more than officer safety. They left federal agents trapped and under attack because cooperating with immigration enforcement doesn't fit their narrative. And that dispatch audio proved it. This isn't about compassion. This is about power. These Democrat leaders want to decide what federal agents and what federal laws get enforced in what jurisdictions, when and how at their choosing. That's not how it's supposed to go. And they are willing to let officers get hurt or worse to make that point. Our republic cannot function when local officials actively undermine federal law enforcement, and Chicago is becoming a war zone, not because of immigration enforcement, but because politicians are choosing chaos over cooperation. And every single American should be outraged. If you're pissed off, tell me in the comments. I am furious.